Good evening, all you beautiful people, and welcome to the Class vs. Crass weekly podcast. I'm your host, Jason Lapine, of course, tonight. And we don't have Sean joining me as usual. Sean is out on vacation because apparently it's some kind of holiday in the U.S. I don't know what you guys are celebrating down there exactly, but here in Canada, we're working. And instead of Sean, we are maintaining the beard ratio on the show. Nice. Joining me for the first time ever on Class vs. Crass, we've got Alex Hope joining me, who is host, caster, Smash, Halo enthusiast.
Yeah.
Am I missing?
Definitely.
Am I missing anything there?
I mean, we'll figure it out as we go. But obviously, a huge gaming esports fan. Tons we're going to talk about. Hi guys, happy to be a part of this. Honestly, and yeah, I haven't met Sean before, but keeping the beard game going, trying to keep that up for sure. We'll see. But yeah, man, this is exciting. E3. This is probably one of the biggest E3s, honestly, for all three. Nintendo, Sony, Xbox. There's huge announcements coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a packed show. So today's going to be a lot more classy. Alex ain't so crassy. I'm gonna have to bring you back on the show when Sean's here, though, so that we can have some a proper Class vs. Crass here. But if this is your first time joining us on the Class vs. Crass podcast, first of all, welcome. It is about a 1 hour podcast broken down into a few segments. First, we're going to be talking about what we're snacking on. I don't know if you guys got your snacks ready in the chat. So we'll get to that in a second.
Should have brought a snack.
You should. You have about 1 minute if you want to run and get something.
Should I actually be eating on stream? Is that's a necessary part of this?
It's not necessary. You're welcome to. I mean, Sean usually has a pickle. I don't know. Okay, all right. I should get some olives, actually. I'm feeling some olives now. All right, there he goes. After that, we get into what we've been playing. I hope Alex can still hear me. That's where we're going to be talking about what we've been playing in the past week. Then we get into a little bit of news. We won't go too heavily in news today. Usually Sean's kind of my quarterback for news. I do have a list of items of some news, but we're really going to focus today on E3 because Alex has has a bunch of stuff to share about the show. We have a lot of news. This is our Road to E3 series where over the last few weeks, Class vs. Crass, we've been focusing on all the rumors, the announcements that have been coming to E3. So we're going to have a very long conversation on E3. Of course, we're going to pull up the graphic that you guys have seen the last few weeks, and we're going to fill in the blanks of what's showed up in news and rumor mills for E3. And then we're going to do the lightning round. That's where we're going to take your user topics and questions and break it all down. I'm really curious as to what Alex is going to come back here with his snack.
All right, sorry about that.
No worries. What'd you get? Or can you hear me? Guess not.
All right.
So what'd you got?
So I'm not sure if I brought this to eat it or if I just wanted to show off snacks to everybody.
Did you get your whole pantry?
I got a couple things. See, the thing is, in my house, we always go for healthier options for snacks. So who's heard of Skinny Pop?
Skinny what now?
This stuff is good, okay? Don't judge me.
Skinny Pop.
Skinny Pop. It's popcorn, pretty, basic salt, oil, olive oil flavoring. It tastes awesome. This is Terra chips. Anybody seen those?
Why is it blue?
They're like blue corn, I think. Real vegetable chips.
Oh.
They're good, man. These things are better than they sound. You've got sweet and salty.
Yeah, I know what that's all about. That's some good stuff.
Everybody knows those. And then we got a Simply bar. This is like a protein bar. I'm gonna start here.
All right, sounds good.
What do you got?
I've got nothing healthy. I've got these things my mother pawned off me last week, which is like some peanut chocolate. I've had one all weekend. Like, I try to keep sugar out of this house. And then actually, I won't be snacking on this, but I do want to show it off. I got this by accident last.
Doritos, of course.
Yeah, but not just any Doritos. This is some kind of like sirloin steak promotional Jurassic World chip. Look at these chips. Okay, just look at the color of this.
Steak Doritos.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck with the Cool Ranch.
Now look at this. Have you ever seen a chip that blue before?
Oh, that looks gross.
Oh, it looks gross. It smells gross, and it tastes gross. So, biggest Dorito mistake of my life.
Take a look at the chat. We got homemade salsa and chips. Calzone.
What do we got in the chat?
Whoa, Sean looked different. Yeah, it's completely changed.
He cleaned up a bit.
I'm not sure how original Sean looks, but
you're an improvement over him. Let's just say that.
No comment.
All right. So yeah, what do you guys got in the chat? We got homemade salsa with chips. Not too many snackers now. At least you guys aren't bringing it out. But
I see goldfish.
Goldfish is that's a good choice. Yeah. The pizza ones.
Mm-hmm. Pizza goldfish? What?
Yeah, pizza flavored goldfish.
All right. I don't know those ones. Sound pretty good.
So I don't know if you heard everything I was rambling on about in terms of show format while you were off on your snack quest. But our next segment is we go over what we've been playing. So I don't know how busy you are during the week to get some game time in.
Right. Well, if you don't already know, I'm 100% dedicated to Halo 5 for the most part. Mainly because I have a YouTube channel dedicated to Halo 5 at the moment, so I have to keep grinding the game just to stay consistent with it, even though the game is pretty much dead at this point. Anybody who follows Halo knows that Halo is a fractured community, and what's left to Halo 5 isn't much. We're all anticipating, hoping for, a return to form with the franchise in Halo 6, and I'm sure we'll talk about our speculation on Halo later. But I've been playing a lot of that, and I also dip back into Spelunky, the indie game. I'm a huge fan of that game.
Why does that sound so familiar?
It's a sick game. If you guys haven't heard of it, you have to play it.
You might be disappointed to hear I've never played a Halo game.
Oh my! You never played a Halo game?
Like I played a little bit of multiplayer, but I could never get in. Like I never liked first-person shooters. I played a bit of multiplayer, like when it was Halo 1 or 2. I don't know, like back on the original Xbox with some friends. But yeah, I could never get into it. But I really want to. Like I like the theme song, I like the characters. It's on my to-do list someday.
I mean, I definitely respect Halo for the story, the campaign, like the massive franchise that surrounds it. There's novels written about it, all of that. But really, I love Halo for the multiplayer. The competitive, intense multiplayer just makes you rage, but also at the same time,
so
the shields, removing the shields, that whole process.
Right. Now you said you had a YouTube channel dedicated to that. What's your YouTube channel?
Is everybody that?
Sorry?
What's my YouTube?
Yeah, your YouTube channel.
Wait. Yeah, it's youtube.com/shyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so your internet is hiccuping a little
all
bit. All
Halo right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry if we. As for me, I was cleaning up some games last week, so I finished off Sonic Mania. I got the bad ending because I didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds. Yes. Have you played it?
I haven't. No, these are all like it's just a big mishmash like classic Sonic games. I'm assuming.
No, Sonic
collection or no?
No, it's a whole new game.
It's a whole new game.
Whole new game with classic mechanics, so it plays like Sonic 3. But new levels. Some of them. There are some repetitive levels that are like reimagined. So you've got like Chemical Plant Zone, but it's all a whole new level. And then you've got entirely new levels designed from the ground up.
Okay.
So yeah, I finally finished that. I also finished my Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio collection a few days ago, which is fantastic.
Had you just finished that? You never played through the Ezio collection up until this point?
Right. I bought it last summer, and that was my first time getting through Assassin's Creed 2.
Wow. That's probably that and Brotherhood are probably my favorite, if not the first one, just because of the precedent that is. Downhill from there, in my opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm. Well, how I would rank them is the first one was best. Brotherhood, I disliked the most. And
wow, really?
Yeah, and Revelations redeemed itself. I felt Revelations was so it goes like original, Revelations, Brotherhood.
Damn. Okay. Fair enough. I never gave Revelations a chance.
Okay. Yeah, it's really good. It's a little bit smaller. There's some weird stuff into it, but. Sad story, right after I beat it, somehow I erased my save file. So when I went back to do to 100% it, I was like, oh shit, where's my save file? It was a new file. So that was disappointing. Hey, Robert.
Assassin's Creed is 100%ing those games is like it was a possible back in like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, but I feel like with the new ones that came out and the multiplayer that they added, getting all the achievements is such a chore. It's not even fun anymore. Like back in Assassin's Creed 2, I enjoyed the process of collecting everything, getting 100%. Yeah. Now the Assassin's Creed games completely turned me off. The multiplayer achievements, everything else that they want you to do.
Yeah, they make
your life.
Like, they make you go out of your way. I really hate how it's like, oh, do 20 airdrops or air assassins or steal from someone 20 times. Like, no, that's...
Right.
No. But if it's like build all the shops, collect all of the treasures, like that's a little bit more fun.
Even the treasures, though, there's like 3 different types of them now. It's not just like one treasure. It's like there's a feather and there's a... You know what I mean?
Yeah. So after I beat that, I went back to play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which was my entry title into the franchise.
Okay.
And that one is at 93%, and I'm like, oh, I'll dive back in and try to knock some out. And like the scope of, I didn't get far into it. I got annoyed because the things I keep failing are the stealth missions where it's like do not get detected, and I absolutely hate that. Like I love every other aspect of it, but the stealth stuff I hate.
Yeah. I mean, I like stealth when it's not a requirement, when I can just choose.
Exactly.
I want to be stealthy, and then if I want to go in, you know.
Yeah, like the Uncharted games. You know, I'll do stealth, and then when my cover's blown, I just shoot everybody.
Yeah, actually, I'm the type who I redo the whole checkpoint. I get pissed off if I miss that one guy. He sees me, and I redo it, and then I try to do stealth again until I just eventually, if I can't beat it, then I'm just done with Uncharted for like the next day or something.
Oh yeah,
rage quit.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of patience. So that's where I stand in my gaming catalog. I'm not sure now. I'm like in that middle point of like, oh, what do I dive into next, right? So,
well, we're gonna have a lot to dive into soon.
Yes,
hopefully.
yes. Before though, I'm gonna make you wait. Oh, you guys just saw my notes. Let's just cover some quick news items from the last week, and then it's all E3. It's all E3. I'll have you waited long enough. So the first thing was the N64 Mini. There's some signs that it might be coming.
Seriously?
Yeah, Nintendo patented something. I'm terrible with news. Sorry about that, guys. But on the rumor mill, there's signs that the N64 Mini is coming after the SNES Mini was such a big hit. Following the NES Mini, there's a lot of people saying that it's inevitable that the N64 is going to come out.
Right.
I could see it both ways. I argue that 8-bit, 16-bit ages well. The dawn of 3D gaming, not so much. Like, what... I don't want to play Nintendo 64. Like they're really ugly. They're really ugly.
I mean, visually they don't stand the test of time, but in my opinion, N64 is probably like the best system I've ever experienced in my entire life. Maybe just because it was the first system I ever picked it up, but the game library was amazing. You got like Ocarina of Time, you got Mario 64, the first like 3D. It was an amazing Mario game.
Yeah. Still
speedrun today, right? Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, GoldenEye. Like there's so many classics that I would buy it in a heartbeat, assuming it doesn't have the same crappy controller though, with that just a horrible layout.
Oh, it probably would.
Oh, I can't. That controller is so bad, man.
The thing is, I feel like, so I've got rare replays. So like I've got actually the N64 Mini. I don't know if they would even have any rare games because of licensing issues.
Right, rare replay.
GoldenEye wouldn't be on there either, probably because of license. So you'd be looking at Mario Kart, Mario 64, probably the two Zeldas, maybe Paper Mario.
Paper Mario's so good.
That one aged well. I'll give it that.
I love that game, yeah.
You know, maybe Yoshi, maybe Kirby, 3 more, and there you go. There's the N64 Mini library.
Yeah.
Which is just like, yeah.
And I guess, do they have the rights to Diddy Kong Racing? Anything Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong they can do, right?
It's rare, though, so actually I don't know where that...
Because Diddy Kong Racing got re-released on the DS.
Yeah, it's probably owned by Nintendo because it's Nintendo IP. Pilot Wings, True Slayer King, Pilot Wings would be another one. So, I mean, there's a market there, but I don't see it as being as exciting as... although,
it's not that.
You know, maybe Pokemon Stadium. Like, it caters to... I guess you're younger if you're saying the N64 was your first console.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I experienced the other consoles. It was the first one that I actually owned. But I had a cousin who I played as Sega and Super Nintendo. So,
I mean, these mini consoles are all about nostalgia, so it does cater to a certain audience. Like, those who grew up with the N64 are in their late 20s. Star Fox 64 would be actually a really good one.
Love that game.
Yeah, that was probably their best Star Fox ever.
Yeah. Assault actually wasn't bad. Did you play Star Fox Assault on the GameCube?
I did, yep.
The multiplayer in that game was actually sick. Like 4 players, split screen. It's like third-person shooter. You can jump in and out of vehicles. I liked it. I don't know.
Yeah. I like the multiplayer. I wish Star Fox Zero had it, but they didn't.
Star Fox Zero, yeah, it's like half a game. That game.
We won't get into it. I like it. I'm in the unpopular opinion for that. All right, then the next big news piece is over in Sony land. There's a few rumors floating around that PlayStation is developing a new handheld. Some are speculating that with the Vita ramping down production. It's still being produced in Japan, but they have finally killed the Vita in all the other territories. And there's also rumors of the PlayStation 5 coming soon. At first, they were saying the PlayStation 4 is at the end of its life cycle. The PlayStation 5 might be revealed at E3. Then they came back, backtracked, and said, no, the PlayStation 4 still has a good 3 years left in it. So take it as you will. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the PlayStation 5 announced next year.
Next year, yeah. This year, no chance. Next year, they could announce it for a release window in either 2020 or 2021. Like, historically speaking, it's an 8-year, at least like 8-year generational gap. But I know it's narrowing down because we have these half steps now. But I would say 2020, like minimum, I would think.
So
I don't know.
My argument is like you've been seeing companies just marketing strategies that so before we used to have these long announcement times, right? Now companies want to get their product out to market soon after they announce. Look at the Switch. It was revealed in October and it was available to purchase in March.
Right.
It didn't even like fit in an E3 cycle. So I wouldn't be surprised if the PlayStation 5 from announcement to release is within a 6-month cycle. So if it's announced in 2019, I see it coming out in 2019.
Okay, it's possible. Yeah, and I mean, nowadays they're tightening the release window. I mean, I think not that Bethesda kicked it off, but I remember Bethesda announcing Fallout 4 and releasing it in the same year was like a huge thing at the time, and now it's becoming a lot more common that we have these like summer announcements followed by the release in the same year, fall. So that would be really cool. I mean, it's almost. I want to say it's almost annoying. Like, I love seeing new console generations, but at the same time, like, we just got the PS4 Pro, we just got the Xbox One X, like literally just got the Xbox One X less than a year ago.
Right.
And we're already looking at the next generation. But
well,
hey, man,
it's specifically annoying, I find, in the Microsoft and PlayStation camps because these hardware iterations I find very unnecessary and frustrating, and it's kind of a curse to what they're pursuing power with their consoles, which means if they want to keep up with PCs or with each other as competitors, they need to do these release cycles. And that's kind of what I admire and appreciate with Nintendo, is that it's not power focused. So every time you see a new console, you see a new concept, some better than others. Right.
Nintendo definitely operates in its own space. And Joshua, you are correct. That was wrong of me to say that it's about 8 years long. PS3, 360, Wii definitely extended the generational gap. It was shorter before, for sure. I'd say you're right, 5 to 6 years back in like GameCube to Xbox or GameCube to Wii, and before that.
Yeah. PS2 to PS3 was about that too, 5 years or so.
Yeah. I mean, PS2 technically, even though the next one came out, PS2 lived on. Like, they're still making games forever after that. But
that was the first console I owned that I bought myself.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's still my favorite.
PlayStation is the one area that I've missed out a lot on. Like, I own a PS3, but I never owned a PS2. I always played it at a friend's house. So I feel like I never got the full authentic experience of like Ratchet Clank and Jak and Daxter and some of those real classics that everybody raves about.
I feel you missed out. I don't find the PS3, out of all the PlayStations, I feel the PS3 is the weakest.
It had a slow start, but a strong finish. Like, 2009 onwards, PlayStation 3 started killing it, and it ramped up to PS4 being as popular as it is now, just because of what happened in the end of the generation. The early PlayStation 3 generation, not as great. Definitely not as great.
And then the early PS4 was basically a lot of the late PS3 repackaged, right? So when you're comparing the 4 PlayStations, a lot of the PlayStation 3 good stuff you can get on the 4 in a tighter package. So
fair.
That's why I think it's better there.
And then you said a handheld for Sony, by the way, that's interesting because the Vita is dead. I feel like the Vita's been dead for a while, but I guess they're officially killing it. A handheld for Sony, that would be interesting. I wonder what they would do. Like, they would have to reinvent something, because I don't think they could just put a powerful device out on the market with phones now as powerful as they are, and the Nintendo already kind of serving its spot. It's going to be hard to compete, but it'd be interesting.
It is, and I've always wondered if we would see the Sonys or the Microsofts pretty much enter the space after the Switch kind of redefine the concept of a console. And it's seeing a lot of success, and usually you'll see Sony and Xbox copy Nintendo soon after. When you saw the Wii, which launched in 2006, end of 2006, and then the PlayStation Move came out in 2009, which was roughly 3 years. So the Switch has been out. So maybe next year, 2019, we would see Sony try to enter the handheld market in some capacity, whether it's a hybrid console like Nintendo or something. But yeah, it would sacrifice power, so I don't know what it would do there.
Yeah.
It
remains to be seen. That's an interesting one. If they announce that, that's not something I'm expecting to see from Sony, to be honest. But hey, I'm all for it. New handheld options. Hey,
I would be too, and they'd be kind of silly to let Nintendo run off on their own and just capture that whole market by themselves.
They're already kind of doing. They already captured their own kind of section of the market. Interestingly enough, Nintendo has always just been that way, as we said. But yeah,
thinking outside the box. Yeah.
Speaking of which, should we start with Nintendo? When are we kicking this off here?
I was actually going to segue with my next piece of news, which was Ubisoft last week revealed their game lineup for E3. So I just want to pull that up on the screen right now. Where was it? Have you seen that video, by the way?
I haven't. They have a video that reveals their game lineup?
Yeah. It's actually pretty clever. In the they launched the video on May 24th, so 3 days ago. It's called the Ubisoft E3 2018 lineup reveal. And it like starts off like a TV drama. It's like previously on Ubisoft E3, and it shows all the games they announced last year. Right. And then it's a text message, which I'm actually going to put on the screen for the viewers here to see. Can I make this better?
I need to look this up. Now, I heard there was no Assassin's Creed, though. Is that a thing, or?
So let me see what was confirmed here. Hang on. I'll just play this for a bit. Can you confirm? So they confirmed that Beyond Good and Evil 2 are going to be there. For Honor.
Oh, wow, they confirmed it, eh?
Yeah,
For Honor, like the same For Honor or a new one?
I don't know. It just says For Honor, so I don't know what they're doing with that. Rainbow Six Siege. Skull and Bones, if you remember that pirate game.
Right, which we haven't seen much of, right?
No, they just showed the first trailer last year.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. Because it's basically Black Flag, but without the assassin mechanic.
There's no Sam Fisher in here? I was hoping we get a Splinter Cell return.
So the next
Ubisoft.
Oh. Yeah,
do they have anything?
Well, they have Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Starlink. They have the Starlink game, which is that Toys to Life thing with the starships, Battle for Atlas. And then Transference. I don't know if that's part of the same title.
Atlas and Transference.
Starlink, Battle for Atlas, and Transference. I don't know if Transference is its own game. I don't recognize the title. So those were confirmed, and then they're also teasing new games. But sounds like there would be no new Assassin's Creed according to this.
Okay. I'm hoping to see a return of Sam Fisher, man.
Yeah, I'm not so much into those games.
Yeah, no Assassin's Creed, right? Which I think they've extended the release window on Assassin's Creed. They used to have it every year, and now I think they're creating like a longer gap of time in between, hopefully to create a more polished game as a result.
Yeah, no, 2 years sounds like a much better cycle. I still want to get into Origins. I spent a few like an hour with it. It's really like the combat mechanic has been completely revamped.
I've heard, yeah, which sounds cool, to be honest, because it gets a little rinse and repeat. Like it's a little too easy at times. I remember Assassin's Creed 3, at least. That's the one that I played the most recently, at least. You would fight like hordes of people, and you basically just spam the counter over and over.
Yeah,
and that's all it really takes.
Yeah, so this one has you actually get to level up your weapons in Origins. You level up your character, and you have to be a little bit smarter. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into into this meat and potatoes here. We got some E3 stuff. Okay, I got both.
We got tons.
All right, where do you want to start? Because I've been cutting you off the whole time.
No.
You get to pick.
All right, well, the first thing I'm seeing is Metroid Prime 4. Not to like squeal like a little girl, but that would be freaking amazing. Honestly, like the one of the few games that would make me want to buy a Nintendo in like a heartbeat is Metroid Prime being like completely revamped. Metroid Prime on the GameCube is some of my best memories of freaking life. Like playing that game it's an amazing game. It was like revolutionary for GameCube at the time. And just the way that like the world is so open too, like just exploring through that game, the music, the action, everything about it was so sick. Metroid Prime 2 wasn't my favorite following up, but it was still pretty cool. Introduced multiplayer, and then we had the third one. But now, bringing this to the Switch, we could have way better graphics. We could have a much more robust game. We could have potentially, hopefully, competitive multiplayer. Would be kind of cool to see. This is kind of like the Halo of Nintendo. Like they could do so much.
It could be.
So I'm really hoping that they make this full fledged. And it's not a stupid like that spin-off game. What was that trash?
Federation Force.
Federation. Everybody got so mad about, right? So like this is a real game that they showcase at E3. I'm gonna have to pick up a Switch like that plus Smash Bros. I'm gonna go crazy.
Right, because you're big into the Smash community too, right? Yeah. What's your background there again?
In Smash?
Yeah.
So my background in Smash is with Melee specifically. I do love Smash as a whole, but I'm super passionate about Melee. If anybody doesn't already know, Melee has they have a very long history, a very massive community that's grown since 2001 pretty much. The game has a whole variety of mechanics that were never really meant to be a part of the game, but were discovered over time. And in turn, it became so competitive and so intense that we've got massive tournaments dedicated to it. We've got people still stealing CRTs off the sides of the street just to get them into a venue and practice and play some hardcore Melee. So Melee is still awesome, and I'm praying that the new Smash game somehow caters to Melee's mechanics. It doesn't have to fully adopt, and I don't think it ever will, because I know Sakurai is trying to push Smash as this casual kind of inviting game for everybody, but they can't keep neglecting their hardcore audience. It seems like no matter what way they shake it, like even with Smash 4, they still have a dedicated hardcore audience and a tournament scene and an esports, like a thriving esports scene, more so than Splatoon. Like, I don't know why they're pushing Splatoon so hard when they've got Smash Bros, which is a property that's so popular and so beloved by fans. Just make it a little faster, make it a little more competitive for the next title. I'll go crazy.
So why did Smash 4 fail to capture the Melee crowd?
Well, Smash 4 captured a crowd. First of all, Smash 4 was not unsuccessful. It did pretty well for itself, and it's still doing pretty well for itself. It didn't capture the Melee crowd because Melee is it's a very unique title. Melee is, even amongst all fighting games, it stands out as it's so mechanically deep and competitive and challenging to master. Really, it's on a whole other level. It's just very fast paced. The skill ceiling in the game is so incredibly high that you could never actually reach it. Like if you ever watch, there's something called TAS for Smash Bros, where it's like it's kind of like they create the gameplay on a computer where it's frame perfect and every single movement that the character's making is frame perfect, like a robot's playing. Yeah. When you see that level of gameplay, like that's the peak. Basically, nobody can even touch it. Like we're still pushing ourselves to get to that skill ceiling. So Melee just has so much depth. It's incredible. It's the only game that's really been surviving this much, like that has such a flourishing community 17 years later. I can't think of any other title in all of gaming that still has lasted, that hasn't been taken over by its sequel.
It's I find it has a good entry point for anyone who's kind of new to esports, because myself, Smash
Melee's broken.
like Melee is actually what is the first game to make me go like, let me follow this esports scene. Like, what's going on with these players? Oh, cool, this guy's winning this tournament. This guy's winning this tournament. And I kind of like seeing, now that I'm understanding the scene better. Of course, we had one at EGLX tournament like that. Recently there was Get On My Level, which was I think like a week ago, which you hosted that, right?
Yeah.
On stage. Awesome. So I just like finished the grand finals today. I was watching that. Awesome. And like it's just crazy to watch. Like it's so fast. And it keeps changing. Like, the thing we were talking about, how there's a player now rising the ranks with a whole new character, with Yoshi, who was considered low tier, and now he's rising the ranks this year, placing in like top 5, top 6. And the fact that, the best player in the world plays with a Jigglypuff and nobody else, correct me if I'm wrong, there doesn't seem to be any other Jigglypuff players in the top ranks.
There's another player named Prince Abu, but he doesn't really stand a chance. And I think there's another player called Toussaint or something. But yeah, there is no player that's really in that upper echelon as a Jigglypuff main. Same with how Armada has a Peach that's up there in the top 10 or the top 5 even. And then we have like Amsa playing Yoshi. We've got Axe, who's one of the only Pikachu mains. He's just unbelievable. He's a top 10 player. So yeah, I do agree. Melee is I guess broken, but it's a beautiful accident. Honestly, this game, all the mechanics, the way that they work together, actually is incredibly competitive and relatively well balanced if you compare it to other fighters. Like there's a whole roster of viable characters. It's not just like Fox. There's like at least a good 8 characters in the top echelon of that tier list that are completely viable, that can take tournaments. And now we're seeing low tier characters being pushed to the extremes. And, if you dedicate enough time and energy, you can really individualize yourself as somebody who's a Yoshi main or Donkey Kong or whatever. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Honestly,
So what do you think we're going to see with Smash 5? And, before you answer, just to put some perspective, it's only been 4 years since Smash 4 was announced.
Yeah.
And Smash 4 was released with a clear understanding of the competitive Melee scene, unlike Brawl, I would argue. And, there was this tournament, this invitational, they positioned it in a unique way for their E3. I think that was the first year they didn't do a live presentation too, if I remember right. So here we are 4 years later with a new Smash coming out. How do you think they're going to be doing it different? Do you think we're going to have a different game? What are your expectations?
all right. Sorry, you cut out there for a second, but what are my expectations for the new Smash Bros. Title?
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So honestly, I'm not 100% sure how they're going to take it. Like, of course, they're going to expand the roster of available characters. I'm sure there's going to be. I'm just wondering where it goes competitive wise. Honestly, like I don't know, because I remember there was a lot of push on Sakurai and on Nintendo's side saying that they wanted to make it very approachable, not necessarily like casual, but something that was very easy for anybody to get into. That's the whole thing about Smash Bros. Is it's just a very approachable title. Like anybody can kind of sit down, enjoy it, and have fun. But I think that, yeah, like I was saying, considering the success that we've had, I'm hoping that Nintendo, alongside the announcement of Smash, they announce some sort of an esports series, like a pro league or something that encourages people to take it more seriously. I'm not sure where it would go as a fighter, like if they would add more to it, like if they're going to go into the items, or if they're going to create like a more in-depth story mode or something, or I'm not sure. We'll see what they do. Or character builder. Like I know how they used the Miis, which is kind of one of the cool, unique things that Nintendo does, where they have your Mii like avatar, and it integrates itself into a bunch of different games. Like you can use it as a fighter in Smash 4. So I'm sure they might find another way to do something like that as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's going to be a clone of the Wii U, or do you think that they rebuilt the game?
That's the thing. Like you said, the release window for Smash historically is much larger, right? Like
right.
From Brawl was 2008. Smash 4 was 2014. So it's a huge gap. It's a 6-year gap right there. But it's not impossible. They could definitely have it come out in 2019.
Keep in mind, the Wii U Smash 4, that was at a time that Nintendo admitted that they were struggling with bringing games to HD. They kind of had a hurdle that they didn't quite expect in making HD games.
Right.
So that might explain that longer development time. Because what was Melee? Melee was 2001?
2001, yeah. 2001,
still
2008. Yeah, still big windows.
Right.
And then I don't know what Smash 64 was, like 1998 or 96 or something.
98 or 99, I want to say. Yeah. So 64 to Melee was the shortest so far.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's I'm excited to see what I think that the audience would be upset if for whatever reason they just announced a re-release, like a remaster of the Wii U version on the Switch. Like, yes, we want Smash Bros on the Switch, even if it's Smash 4, but considering the fact that they've announced another invitational, they've invited players to the other invitational, this sounds like it's something much bigger than just a re-release of Smash Wii U on a Switch. Like, if that's all is, I feel like there'll be a lot of disappointed fans. I mean, I've thought about it, and one of the biggest issues that they had with the Smash Wii U was that Ice Climbers couldn't be included, something like a limitation on the 3DS or whatever. So like I was thinking if they re-released it on the Switch, then maybe they would throw Ice Climbers in there and be like, oh, this is the new Ultimate Edition. But I don't think that's enough. Like just considering just the release and the invitational, I'm expecting something bigger, and I hope they follow through.
Mm-hmm. I think that you're going to see, all of that DLC. There was a ton of DLC that was released for Smash 4. I really think that they're going to use the Smash 4 platform as a foundation, because a lot of what's in Smash 4 works, and it's easy to just tweak the game for Smash 5 from there. And they can tweak it enough that it feels like a fresh new game without necessarily having to rebuild the whole engine, all the characters, all the sprites, and everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually an interesting theory. I kind of hope they don't do it, because I kind of want them to just go all out and appeal to the hardcore guys and build a faster Smash Bros. But
Imagine if
Smash 4 is still a pretty popular game and very competitive. So
imagine if there was a toggle that you could just go like melee speed. Like you just toggle and all the character, like the whole motion and controls now plays as fluidly and as deep as melee.
Well, so interestingly enough, somebody or a group of people actually got together and modded Smash 4 to have it be reset to like melee physics. So there is a version of Smash 4 out there that's like not, I guess, legal to distribute, but you can download and play it, and it feels like melee, apparently. Huh. But yeah, it's not as easy as just speeding it up, unfortunately. There's a whole slew of mechanics like the wave dash, the L cancel, like I guess shield dropping still in Smash 4, but just there's certain types of mechanics that.
So what's shield dropping? Just
like just holding shield on a platform and dropping through a platform while in shield. It's like it basically in melee, at least, it allows you to just drop through a platform on a dime, as opposed to having to like stop your sprint, crouch down, and fall through the platform. In this scenario, you can sprint, insta shield, dip through the platform like instantaneously, and you don't waste time.
I didn't know that mechanic.
Yeah, no, and I believe that's something that's available in Smash 4.
Interesting. Yogi, if we continue with other games, or you have more thoughts on Smash?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Oh, let's keep going.
All right. So since we're in the Nintendo category, other games, just interrupt me if there's anything you want to talk about. But we know that Yoshi's going to be featured. It looks like it's heavily influenced by Woolly World with a little bit more a new mechanic, the whole perspective mechanic. We've got The World Ends With You coming for the remix, and that's coming to the Switch, which is interesting. It's interesting because on the DS you needed to use a touchscreen and buttons to play the game, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. We've got Bayonetta 3, which is confirmed. You've got a new Fire Emblem game, which if I recall right, we haven't seen much of that yet.
Right, that was announced back in like January 2017.
Yeah,
and then we had like a Fire Emblem spin-off, I believe, but not a true title, and we haven't really heard anything since.
Right, we got Heroes, Fire Emblem Heroes, which is the
right.
They're fun games. I mean, they're really good to just sit on the couch and smash some buttons. Then there's Captain Toad, which I really hope is not at E3 because that's coming out.
Captain Toad is cute.
Yeah, we know the game. It's coming out to 3DS, to Switch, and all that. It's like, okay, good job, but let's move it. So then we talked about Metroid Prime 4 a bit. That
sounds awesome.
Yeah, this is a good one because there's been a lot of talks that the Metroid Prime series has not aged well, specifically in developer circles. Even the developers behind Metroid Prime said they don't think that today's market would enjoy the mechanics of backpedaling so much in Metroid. So I think here they have a chance to kind of modernize Metroid Prime, the formula. I would like them to take it a little bit more open world and definitely add multiplayer. I think there's so much potential with a multiplayer angle, but then you add an open world mechanic for the single player.
Yeah, the single player needs to be huge for sure. Like it needs to be very open, and I know what you mean by backtracking, and maybe that's a little upsetting for some, but I think that the whole exploration factor of the original Metroid Prime was so exciting to me that I didn't mind it as much. Like something about it just seemed so interesting to explore and enjoy, and I think they can recreate that with a beautiful open world in the new game. And multiplayer is huge. I don't know if you remember the Metroid. There's a Metroid Prime game for DS. I don't know if it was Metroid Prime. It was called Metroid
Hunters,
maybe. The multiplayer in that game was actually amazing. Like I was hardcore on that for a while. Like there's different types of like there's Samus and there's other creatures you could pick or whatever, and they have special abilities and whatnot. It was kind of competitive. They could go so far with the multiplayer in this game if they wanted to. So I really hope they build it out. They would have to revolutionize the actual moving and shooting, because it's always been like a lock-on. So I'm wondering if they'll give it the full treatment of like not that I want to say they want to codify it or something, but like the full dual stick shooter treatment.
You sure
that goes?
You sure you're not Sean? Sean would go crazy if he was here. You guys would totally bond over Hunters. It was his favorite. It was his favorite. Awesome. It was his favorite DS game. He put a ton of hours into it.
I put so much time in that game.
I gotta bring you back when he's on the show. I think you guys would get along.
Sounds good. But Metroid Prime, and along the same vein as the Yoshi title you mentioned, Kirby is also supposed to be coming out as well. So there's a Kirby game and a Yoshi game.
Wait, another Kirby game? Because we just got a Kirby game in March.
Did it just come out? Is that Kirby for Wii U? Is that what just happened?
Well, we got the Kirby Superstar Allies, or Kirby Star Allies, which came for the Switch in March.
Hold up.
Are you?
My bad. If it hasn't already been apparent, I don't own a Switch right now. I should get one. Kirby.
It's okay.
There was a trailer for Kirby Wii U that I just saw recently.
For Wii U? You mean Switch?
Sorry, for Switch.
Yeah, I think what you saw was the E3 2017 trailer, which was announced to come 2018, which came out 2 months ago.
Came out. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Tells you what I know.
It came out as an easy. Some people were complaining it was a little bit too easy of a game.
That's my issue with all these titles, like the Yoshi Woolly World, like the Yarn ones or whatever. It looks like there's no death punishment. You just come back. Like,
yeah, but try to collect everything. So
it's all about collecting more so than actually like the challenge of the game, though. You know, like
yes,
like Yoshi's story and like the Yoshi, like Game Boy games and whatnot used to be like really, really challenging.
Yeah, so like Nintendo's new formula is really they'll let you get through the game. But if you want to try to get everything, right. That's where the hardcore challenge is. Mm-hmm. Just like Mario Odyssey. I know you don't have a Switch, so you wouldn't know. But Mario Odyssey, yeah, people are running through it and they're like, "Oh man, I beat the game." Because the story, you can beat it within probably 5 hours or so. But there's 900 plus moons to collect. I think you only need 200 or something to beat the game. Don't quote me on that. But the game gets actually quite hard once you pass 500 moons. Like trying to get those last 400 or even the last 200,
right?
You need legit skills to get that. It's really difficult.
Right. There's some actual tech with like the hat and whatnot where you throw it off and like extend your jump or something. Like I was watching a little bit of the speed running. It looks sick, honestly. So yeah, I feel you. I guess that's Nintendo's strategy to make games as approachable as possible, is make them simple to play through if you're not a collector. But if you are a hardcore and you want to get everything, then I guess that's where the challenge comes in. I don't know. I like when games were just straight up challenging.
Well, that's why you got Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but that game, in my opinion, feels unfairly challenging. And sometimes I feel like I'm fighting the game. At least my experience with like the earlier Dark Souls, like Dark Souls 1 on Xbox 360, I'm fighting FPS half the game on top of like the game being annoying. Like the frame rate will just go to slideshow levels at times, and I'm like, okay, this is just not fair.
I pretty much gave up when I beat the first boss, which was like a minotaur on a bridge, and then I'm all like, finally, I feel great, and like I move on and I walk through a door and there's a dragon that just flies above me and roasts me. I was like, oh come on, like it's kind of funny, but I was like, I don't want to do this again. So I never touched the game again.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. A different scenario.
Mm-hmm. So another big game coming this year, most likely, is a Pokemon game. Might see that at Nintendo.
Do you think they will announce it? Because Pokemon typically does their own thing. Like they might take like their own time to do their own reveal or something. They tend to operate on their own accord.
Well, they are their own company, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Like last year, it was in the Nintendo presentation, so it's possible. There's some rumors that it could be a little bit similar to Pokemon Go with a bit more hardcore mechanics. So it sounds like they're doing something. There's also rumors that it would only feature the first 150 Pokemon.
Interesting.
So it could be a whole revamp of the formula, which I would very much welcome it.
I'm waiting patiently for Pokemon Stadium 3. If they continue with that franchise they left behind.
Maybe they can make it a mini game in this new Pokemon game.
I don't know if you remember Pokemon Stadium, the mini games in Pokemon Stadium. There's this one that was the Chansey egg catching game. Do you know that? If anybody in the chat knows the Chansey egg catching game, that game was amazing. You put it on hard mode, and all you do is just press the left trigger and the right trigger to catch eggs, and it gets like really intense. And it's 4-player, like you challenge each other. It's so straightforward, but I loved it. That was shit out of that. I
never actually owned an N64. I rented it, and I knew so many people that had it. I played all the games I wanted, but I never owned it, so I never sat with some of these games.
True.
People are saying that there's a rumors that there's a tease or an announcement for tomorrow or this week for what I assume is a Pokemon. announcement. So
that sounds like something to look forward to.
Yeah, we might have something a lot sooner than expected.
I've got a rumor to throw in.
Sure.
Have you heard of the Star Fox Grand Prix
Yeah,
rumor?
good call. Yes, we need to add that to the list.
Who's heard of that one?
I'd welcome that, actually. At first I was like, no, but then I'm like, wait a minute, this could work.
There was a little, like, I was reading news about it, and they said that it could be like this other like PS1 game. Hold on, let me figure it. And then when I saw the game, like, it all made sense. Like, when I saw the PS1 game, they were saying it might be like, what's it called?
F-Zero?
N-Gen Racing. And I've never played it. It's just N-G-E-N and then Racing. N-Gen Racing.
No, I never heard
and
of that.
Yeah, so it looks like Star Fox. Like, when I watched the PS1 gameplay, it's like very fast paced, and you have to kind of like
NGN Racing.
Yeah, you have to be quick to like fly into rings to increase your speed and whatnot. Like, I could see it being similar to this style of game. I don't know. I'd be down for it. They could do so much with this,
for sure,
especially with the different types.
I kind of got a feeling of that in some of the levels in Star Fox Zero. There's somewhere you have to chase, another ship, and it's usually like it's a level where you go faster than usual, and you just have to dodge and stuff. And that gameplay is really fun. And if they kind of polish it up with a bunch of different tracks, or instead of tracks, you call them levels or something, and they're talking about adding bosses, and you shoot things to get points or to get speed. Like, there's so many ways to reinvent the racing genre and make it Star Fox. I think it works great.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be curious about is whether or not it stays on rails, because Star Fox has the history of keeping you within that confined, like, linear kind of path, right? Or do they open it up a bit and let you kind of fly around within a certain limitation, I assume? But typically in Star Fox, you're stuck on that one, trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming they'd open it up like any other racer, see how that goes.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I see in the chat there's talk for a Zelda Skyward Sword HD remaster.
There's been that's been on the rumor mill for a while. I will add it to the list. It's not on our list for rumors. Wind Waker. No, not Wind Waker. Sorry.
That one we already had.
Yeah. Skyward Sword. Zelda Skyward Sword.
Zelda Skyward Sword I missed, and I'm pretty upset about the fact that I missed it.
And that's because it came out late in the Wii life cycle, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it.
Well, as a Zelda game, it's the least favorite. It seems to be the least favorite, but Zelda is always pumping out quality titles, or Zelda games are always quality. So I would still expect it to be a good game.
Yeah.
But now that there's the new Zelda, it's like, is there even a point in going back,
It's good for nostalgia. Like, I feel Skyward Sword could I think it has a spot. It would sell well. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm not one of the haters. It was definitely I wouldn't mind replaying it. And if they they'd have to get rid of the motion controls, possibly. Like, I think the Wiimote or the Switch, the Joy-Con can do it. But I don't think they would choose to keep that in, because it was a major part of criticism. And hey, Elizabeth, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show, I should say.
Welcome.
How about we move into PlayStation or Xbox?
Sure. Just the only thing I'm going to tack onto that is there's rumors that there might be an Animal Crossing coming out. In January 2018, Nintendo purchased a trademark for Animal Crossing that for a wide range of purposes, including software for a home video game machine, portable electronic game machine, and smartphone devices. So I don't know if that means that we might see like a Switch version of Animal Crossing amongst a number of other things.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then Nintendo Labo, Retro Studios working on a new project, the Donkey Kong creators, which might be a Labo 2 or something or whatever.
Yeah, so I've added, well, we know that there's going to be, I can almost confirm to you that there's going to be a new Labo kit coming. So we have the Robot Labo and the Labo Variety Kit 1.
Right.
There's going to be a Labo Variety Kit 2 for sure. So we're going to see some new Labo. And yeah, there's a new retro IP. A lot of people were suggesting at one point that it was a horror game potentially. That's what rumors were saying, but
that'd be cool.
Apparently it's in development hell though, so I don't know what's going on there.
Nintendo doesn't really dip into M-rated horror types of titles. I'd like to see them go there just a little bit.
Well, you know, they got Bayonetta games going into the M-rated stuff now, so.
Bayonetta, yeah, it's not as bad, but yeah, it's something.
I mean, they're catering to the M crowd, so
Yes.
it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility to have a horror game there too. Oh, Fatal Frame was a game that was only released on the last Fatal Frame was only on Wii U. That's a horror game, and they actually included Nintendo skins in there.
Fair enough. All right, that one I missed.
A lot of people missed it. It was it was on the Wii U. There was no physical downloaded it. You pretty much you needed a new hard drive, pretty much.
Right. That sounds like an inconvenience.
It was.
But there's one last thing is we know Fortnite's available on the cell phone. It's on the Xbox. It's on the PlayStation. It's only inevitable that it hits Nintendo Switch. I'm expecting a Fortnite announcement for Nintendo Switch at some point in the conference. Yeah,
that would be smart. I don't know if it's gonna happen though, but it'd definitely be smart.
It's like it seems inevitable at this point.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's slide over on my sheet. Over on PlayStation, I'm going to recap real quick. We've got confirmed Last of Us Part 2, Days Gone, Spider-Man is going to be a big one. Ghosts of Tsushima, which is my personal number one game I'm looking forward to. Shenmue 3 is going to be there, or probably going to be talked about. Then in some not PlayStation exclusive, but probably going to see it in the PlayStation presentation, we got one called Shadows Die Twice, which is the new game from Software. Death Stranding, which is Kojima's weird.
That's my most anticipated.
No, you're a Death Stranding fan?
It looks so crazy, dude. You can't not like that. And I'm also a fan of Daryl from The Walking Dead. So.
Lost a bit of respect for you there.
Okay, because why? Because it's so like incredibly convoluted and it doesn't make any sense. So it's like kind of stupid in a way, maybe.
Well,
or like I don't know what you're.
My main thing is just tell me what kind of game it is.
I have no idea.
Exactly.
But it looks crazy. Like you can't deny that the graphics are beautiful, that it's dark, and that it's gritty, and it looks like a sci-fi. Like I'm watching like Prometheus, but I could play it, like or the Alien movies or something. Like I like the environment surrounding the game, and I'm hoping that it turns into something exceptional. It's me praying here. I don't know where it's going to go, but the initial trailer has got me interested.
Okay. As a concept and environment, sure, I'll give you that. It's intriguing. As a game, we don't even know it's a game for all this could be a movie for all I care. Yeah.
Sony did definitely make a note of 4 specific games, which you had already mentioned. So it's the Spider-Man, Death Stranding, Ghosts of was it Tsushima? How do I say that?
I would say it as Tsushima.
Tsushima and Last of Us 2. So these are like apparently the 4 big things that they're focusing on. So when they do show these games, I'm expecting like big 10-minute like gameplay demos. We're seeing a ton of it.
Yeah.
And then they have a bunch of other stuff peppered throughout.
There was 2 other on my list. Cyberpunk 2077.
That I'm expecting on Xbox to showcase on Xbox.
Oh,
because historically, The Witcher 3, anything from like CD Projekt Red had been showcased on Xbox's stage.
Oh, okay.
So I would expect Cyberpunk 2077 to hit the Xbox stage. Of course, it'll be multi-platform, I think.
Right. So. Interesting. Well, I kind of put these in between Xbox and PlayStation because I didn't know where it would go. And Metro Exodus.
Right.
And it would be a third party in there too.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, you also had mentioned the From Software game. What was that called again?
Shadows Die Twice.
Shadows Die Twice. That game is rumored to be multi-platform. I'm wondering if Xbox will show that on their stage, mainly because Microsoft said that they're going to try to have a big Japanese presence on their stage for E3, and it'd be a great.
Okay, so it's on my end then. Well, okay, I think that can help here. Let me get a few things off my Wi-Fi. And finally, let me few adjustments, and this should
breathe life into the stream.
I haven't had problems with it's crazy. We're both in Canada, but I haven't had problems with Sean in a while. Okay. Hopefully it's smoother. I made a few adjustments now. And hang on, I might be able to do one more. Nope. I'm on my lowest setting for the stream. All right. Hopefully it evens out, guys. I don't know. I didn't change anything in what I usually do with Sean. So, jeez. Right. Crossing fingers. All right.
Show must go on.
Show must go on.
Can't stop for anything.
Okay. Over in Microsoft land, there's a lot of potential here. So we know Ori and the Will of the Wisp is coming, the sequel to a fantastic game, one of my favorites.
I loved Ori and the Blind Forest.
So good. Then there's from the Walmart leaks, Forza Horizon 5. So I'm going to write as Forza Horizon 4, of course.
That's a definite. That's not even, doesn't have to be leaked. I think the Walmart leak was Gears 5 was the Walmart leak, was it?
Yeah, they said 5 in the Walmart one, yeah.
Yeah, Gears 5, which there's probably not going to be a Gears 5. Like, they could tease it, but it's unlikely. What I've heard, the rumor is that they're making a Gears game that's a spin-off with XCOM style gameplay, which I would not be against. Yeah, but I've seen a rumor that it's XCOM style Gears of War spin-off. So
then
that's something.
And then Crackdown 3, I think, is pretty much confirmed on the Xbox side.
Yeah, no idea what's happening with that one.
But then rumors, ton of rumors. Just going to list them out real quick. Rumors of a Halo 6, Gears of War 5, Fable 4, Perfect Dark, a game called Below, and Borderlands 3.
Below's been around for a while. Below was announced like 2013 or 2014 as an indie title. It looked amazing. It disappeared. It's supposed to be coming back this year, so I'm really looking forward to seeing more Below. That's one of their indie games, so they'll probably have a big ID at Xbox montage. That'll be one of the big showcases, along with Ashen. I don't know if you saw that one. Was another of their indies.
I don't recall their indies too much, but I'm gonna write those down since you seem to know them. You're an Xbox. You're more Xbox at heart, right? Like Xbox is my weakest category, so this is where you compliment me.
Well, Xbox needs they need help. All right, I think everybody in the chat can agree with me that Xbox needs to put in work this E3 as far as exclusives go. Like, oh my god, dude, we seriously need new IPs. We need AAA exclusives. I saw the rumor that they're making a studio for quadruple A.
What?
Did you see the rumor about that?
No.
That has to happen. Whatever the studio is. So it's I have a literal name of the guy who's running it.
That is so stupid.
This has to happen though, because Xbox is slacking in exclusives, and I love Xbox, and as a fan, I'm saying they're slacking in exclusives. It's frustrating.
Well, just as a gaming fan, it's sad. Like it's almost
Sony
like
is just trouncing them right now in exclusive titles.
It's like
not even comparable.
It's like seeing that cousin you don't really like, get cancer or something. Like you don't want them to die.
Yeah, I don't know why I laughed at that. That is very Daryl Gallagher, MS Studios executive leadership team. So he's part of this MS Studios executive leadership team who's working on a new quadruple A studio. This Daryl Gallagher guy came from Crystal Dynamics, and he also worked at Activision, so he's got a lot. He's a reputable individual. So maybe they'll come on and give us a trailer for a game that actually takes full advantage of the Xbox One X. I have an Xbox One X Scorpio Edition console sitting here with games that that should be beautiful in 4K, and I'm not seeing enough of it. Like Ori and the Blind Forest looks amazing. Don't get me wrong, but that is not a system seller. It's not the graphics that we're looking for. We want to see something that outclasses PlayStation titles basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have the capability with the resources here to do it. So just do it already.
For sure. Other than the list I just gave you, is there anything else that you caught wind of or hope for?
I have a lot of stuff that I could say for actually both Sony and Xbox.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me dipping back and forth.
Go for it. I'll try to manage.
Okay. Let's start with PlayStation. Just a couple things that I have written down. One of the biggest things in PSN that I'm confused as to why they have not added it yet is PlayStation name changes. I am hoping that they finally let you change your goddamn username on PlayStation. So hopefully they announce that. And then we've got probably an indie montage, because PlayStation usually has like a good roster of indie titles. So they'll probably give a montage of that and a montage of PSVR stuff. I don't follow PSVR, so I couldn't care less.
Same.
But there might be some cool stuff with PSVR. I don't know. It's kind of like PlayStation Move. Like, it comes out, it looks cool, and then nobody really buys into it, and it's not well supported. Black Ops 4 will be revealed on the Sony stage. Battlefield 5 will be revealed on the Xbox stage. Probably they have the marketing rights on each side. Resident Evil 2 remake is in the works. That might come up on the Sony stage. It's about time now for Mortal Kombat, because we had Injustice. It's a cycle, right? It goes Mortal Kombat, then Injustice, then Mortal Kombat again. So I'm expecting a trailer for a 2019 release.
Okay, so that goes under. So I have my third parties listed below.
Right, that might be a third-party one.
Yeah, so that would be under. Where's more? Who publishes? It's banned. Who publishes Mortal Kombat?
Oh God, I don't know. I should know. My mind is blank.
Mine is too. I thought I wrote this somewhere.
Look it up. Clutch. Google. NetherRealm Studios. Armature. High Voltage Software. These are the developers of Injustice. I'm assuming it's just NetherRealm is what we're looking for, right?
I don't have. They're not in the ones I picked. So I've got like WB Games, Capcom, Sega.
They might just have to.
Right, I kind of built it with the ones that had the biggest booths at E3.
Warner Brothers. God damn, I'm an idiot.
It's Warner Brothers?
It's Warner Brothers.
Okay. So you're thinking...
Why we have a chat.
Yeah, so you're thinking new Mortal Kombat game?
I'm thinking that they tease it or something.
Speaking of...
They're on a 2-year cycle.
Speaking of Warner Brothers games, we talked about this a few weeks ago. So Warner Brothers has a pretty big booth set up for E3, but they have nothing in the works right now, nothing announced. Other than their Lego games. So some people are saying that there might be a Superman game, a la Arkham Knight style.
Oh, that'd be so cool. They should do it.
Yeah. But it could be for a Mortal Kombat game as well.
Okay. They could do... Well, so wait. Who does... Do they also do the Batman games? They don't do Batman, do they? Rocksteady does Batman Arkham.
But WB Games publishes it.
Okay. Because apparently Rocksteady is coming out with a new game following the Batman Arkham series. So yeah, it might be Superman.
Right, yeah.
Or something of like. Destiny 2 expansion. I mean, I don't know how many people are still sticking with Destiny 2. Apparently Destiny 2 has been getting better recently with the recent expansion. I mean, if you're a Destiny 2 fan, there'll probably be another expansion announced. Spyro. We've got the Spyro trilogy or whatever.
So on Activision sides, Spyro Trilogy Remastered, Destiny, everything you just said. And Crash coming to Xbox and Switch. Crash Bandicoot.
That's cool for Xbox fans and Nintendo fans. Blue Point, the makers of Shadow, they remade Shadow of Colossus recently. Mm-hmm. Apparently they have an ambitious new title. Oh. I imagine Siphon Filter comes back. I played the shit out of Siphon Filter on the PSP.
What's the studio again? Blue what?
Blue Point.
Blue Point game.
Or maybe a remake of a Metal Gear game or something. I know that the Metal Gear's been a little weird recently with the...
A little bastardized.
Dreams is a game that I don't know anything about.
Never
but
heard.
That could be shown. That's another game.
Mm-hmm.
And Medieval, which was a cool PlayStation 1 game that could be remastered. Could be seeing a remaster that was announced.
Okay.
That's about everything I've got for PlayStation.
Just to cover
on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just to cover, of course, the obvious EA stuff I've got in front of me. You've got the sports games. You're going to get 2019 versions of them all.
Yeah, I don't follow that.
Battlefield and Anthem.
Yeah, Anthem has to be huge, by the way. Anthem is EA's Destiny, and EA's been taking tons of flack recently, deservingly so, because of what they did with Battlefront.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefront 2, that they got destroyed for that, and they've had to, retract a lot of things. Anthem could be huge. They can't fuck up with the loot crates and all these microtransactions and whatever. They got to be so careful about how they do this, because this game, the reveal at E3 2017 looked amazing. I was upset that the Xbox reveal ended with a third-party title, but regardless, the game looks amazing. So they could really push this, and it could really kind of, I guess, reinvigorate people's trust and interest in EA as a brand, because right now they are hurting because they screwed up with Battlefront 2. So they really got to do something right with Anthem here.
Oh, Arfin says EA has confirmed there won't be a new FIFA, which is really surprising.
Isn't it? Like, everybody wants FIFA these days.
Yeah, I thought so too. All right.
That is interesting.
Over on the Square Enix side, I have a lot of stuff I'm excited for here. We got Kingdom Hearts 3, which is coming out this year. Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is coming out around my retirement. And we've got the new Shadow of the Tomb Raider coming out later as well.
Right. Which actually might be on the Xbox stage, but... Probably on the Square Enix. The thing with Xbox this time around is the last Tomb Raider title had timed exclusivity on the Xbox, but it's very clear at this point that PlayStation outsells Xbox by more than 2-1. So it hurt Square Enix to have that game timed exclusive as long as it did. So I'm not expecting timed exclusivity this time around. But what I am expecting that's a little bit different is that it becomes a day one Game Pass title. Because Game Pass is going to be a huge focus for the Xbox conference.
Oh, that's
and they
true.
need titles to sell Game Pass. It's like all they care about right now is they want people on the Game Pass. It would be a cool way to sell Game Pass by putting Tomb Raider on there as a day one.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder.
And then we've got two more. So there's rumors of an Avengers project being worked on by Square Enix. And their RPG Octopath Traveler, which is coming exclusively to the Switch, which I'm super excited for that one.
What's that?
It's like an old 16-bit style RPG, but with like modern mechanics and depth to it. Okay. It's I don't know if it was rated M or not, but like the story, so I played the demo. I just said like a ton of times. I played the demo on the Switch, and you follow. So there's 8 characters that you can follow each of their individual stories, and the 2 characters that were in the demo I played was the Knight and the Dancer. And the Dancer's storyline was so mature and refreshing of a story. It was all about some girl who decided to go, I think her father got murdered. So she pledged to her life for revenge. And she became like a prostitute for 10 years, networking her way, trying to figure out who killed her father. And then just wants to have revenge. It's very refreshing. It's refreshing storytelling. It's not like your coming of age stories of traditional RPGs. Like this is for an audience that is already of age, if you will.
Right. Sounds interesting for sure. That sounds cool. So exclusive to Switch, you said?
That one is exclusive to Switch, yeah.
And that's cool too. Even broadening the roster of mature games focused for more of an adult audience. That's nice to see.
Oh, wait. Sergeant Crack says the Avengers game is not a rumor. It has come out already. There's a trailer for it.
The trailer has come out. Yes.
What?
There is a trailer.
Square Enix Avengers. I have not seen this.
Yeah. And Game Pass has been pretty nice, I'd say. If you don't already own the games that are available on Game Pass, it's a pretty good way to try things out. If you're a new customer for Xbox, I recommend Game Pass. It's a great way to enter the Xbox ecosystem and try a bunch of things. It's getting better. I mean, State of Decay 2 just landed on Game Pass. What I'm hoping they do is Halo Master Chief Collection gets announced for Game Pass and lands that day. So like during the conference, they're like, you can play MCC fixed and amazing on Game Pass now. I don't know if it'll be fixed by then, but I'm hoping that they can, add the 4K and whatever bells and whistles they got to add to it to make people come back to MCC, because that was probably the most ambitious project ever that just failed. I'm upset about that. It would be a great Game Pass game.
All right. Just as we tone down here, I just want to tell everybody that we're going to be doing the lightning round soon.
What's that?
So that's where the chat can toss up some questions and topics for either of us, and we try to answer as many as we can in the last 15 minutes of the show.
Okay. Down.
I've also got a code tonight for a game, and I'm not sure quite how we're going to give it away. Usually I have a widget, but I didn't have time to prepare it. So I have a Switch code to give away tonight for a game called Henry the Hamster Handler. I have no idea what it's about. Do you have any good trivia you think would be challenging enough and wouldn't be easy with a simple Google search?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Do I have trivia just at my fingertips? So I have to ask a question to the chat here?
No, I'm just wondering. I don't. If you don't have anything, yeah, preferably in gaming.
Yeah, not right off the top of my head, but now I'm gonna have to think about it. Do you have one?
I don't. I usually pass this off to Sean, but I give him a heads up. I didn't even give you a heads up. I'm pretty evil. Yeah. Anything like think of your game series. If there's anything that is kind of a quirky piece of knowledge or a fact that you wouldn't be quite. That isn't easily found. And I'll think of something too, and whoever comes up with something
first. Then what's stopping them from just internet searching it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. As it can't be like super easy.
This is tough. It has to be something that's like not easy to internet search, and off the top of my head, it's like, damn, that's tough.
You can't be like, how many Halo games are there? That's too easy, right? Or if you say what was the release date of game X, well, that's gonna, you type that into
pop
Google.
It up on the search.
Yeah. So it usually requires a little bit of insight. So I don't know what obscure fact and question we could ask. But do get your questions ready for the lightning round. We're going to be getting it started here very soon. Question topics, and we're going to be tossing up that switch code. That's why I like this widget, actually. Let's see if I can do the widget. Maybe I can come up with a widget faster than we can come up with a trivia question. It is on. We'll see. All right, so let's do a new competition. Oh, did I lose you? Alex? Everybody? Is it me or is it Alex? I guess we lost Alex. Yep, he's gone. He warned me that he might go. Hopefully he comes back. Hey, that's true, Elizabeth. I do have the Guinness Book over it. Where is that book? Let's see. I got NES Oddities and the Homebrew Revolution. Perhaps there's something I can find in here. I think I blew Alex's mind by trying to get him to do trivia. All right, guys. I think what we're going to do is it's going to be down to whoever is the fastest to search this. What is this? So here's something interesting. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. The trivia is going to be related to the NES, so all of you retro fans, you guys should have something that you can find. I don't know how hard this one's going to be, but what happened here? You with me, Alex? All right, question for the chat is, did you know, because I certainly did not, I just learned this, there was a motion controller available for the NES, and my question is, what was the name of that controller? I'm going to type into the chat here, what was the name of the motion controller, the NES? And this thing looks terrible. It looks like a sex toy. I'll show you guys after. I guess, Joshua, the Power Glove was technically a motion controller, but that is not the answer I'm looking for. Trying to see how this one was different than the Power Glove. It's not the Power Glove. This one is actually a controller, but not a glove. It's a controller. It's not a glove. So it is not the NES U-Force either. Or God, is it the U-Force? Maybe there was more than one. Yeah, this one is also has IR, so it technically works. Which was made in 1989. Let me see if this one you can even find online, what it's called. I wonder if Alex is going to come back. Alex, you with me? No? Okay, yeah, this one is definitely really, really obscure. You can still buy it. I'm just seeing what year it came out. Okay, it came out after U-Force, so technically U-Force would be the true motion controller. It's not Rob's, not Turbo Control Pad. All right, so I think I'm going to give the code to whoever said U-Force first. Ricky, that was technically the first motion controller that actually used IR sensors. So we're going to go with that. But the one I was referring to in this book was called the Game Handler, which is this big black thing that came out in 1992. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a question. I used this NES Oddities book I had.
Damn. All right.
But it was a little too obscure though, so we're gonna give the code to Ricky, who corrected me on my question. Ricky, if you
had one.
Oh, you had one?
Well, one that's like probably a little harder to internet search. Maybe I found it on the internet though, so I don't know if that's. But another name for Counter-Strike.
Another name for Counter-Strike?
Just the way that it's phrased is kind of ambiguous.
Another phrase for Counter-Strike?
Another name of Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike. When did the Power Glove come out? 1989. And the U-Force came out in 1989. Both did. All right. Josh, I'll see if I have another code. I'll give out.
The name was Half-Life, by the way, guys.
And Sergeant Crack said, well, no, Joshua said Power Glove first. Joshua, Ricky, I'll try to get you guys both codes. If you can email me or message me on Twitter, I will send that right after the podcast. All right, so let's get into the lightning round. Question from Tony. Since Bandai Namco are developing 3 Nintendo-published exclusive games for the Switch, not counting Go Vacation, do you think they will present Ridge Racer 8 only for the Switch?
Ridge Racer 8 only for the Switch?
Yeah, so given that Bandai Namco seems to be getting in bed more and more with Nintendo, do you think Ridge Racer 8 would be an exclusive for the Switch?
It's a great question for a Nintendo expert like yourself.
Deflecting is entirely fair.
Well, the feeling is like I'm like Ridge Racer. When's the last Ridge Racer game even come out?
It's Ridge Racer. My answer is no. I don't think we're going to see it coming out exclusively for a Nintendo platform. It's if you have Xbox questions, toss those up.
Ridge Racer 7, 2006.
Yeah,
Damn.
Like Ridge Racer, I just don't see. Bandai Namco is still doing a ton of other non-Nintendo games. You know, you've got Dragon Ball FighterZ, you've got Soul Calibur 6. So I'm not really expecting Ridge Racer to be a Nintendo exclusive game if it is announced.
Fair enough.
If anything, I expect from Bandai Namco, I expect them to announce Dragon Ball FighterZ for the Switch. That's what I would hope for.
I'm surprised they hadn't done that already, honestly. That game's awesome.
Well, their development cycle, right? The Switch kind of just dropped out of nowhere, so.
True.
We've got Devil Luke asking, will we see Marth or Link in Soul Calibur 6?
And Nintendo's Soul Calibur? That would be awesome.
Well, Soul Calibur 6 has not been confirmed for the Switch yet, unless I'm missing something. So if Soul Calibur 6 does come to the Switch, you will definitely see
a Nintendo character, probably.
Oh, most likely.
Yeah. They got to bring back Link.
He does make the most sense. Or if they want to push the Fire Emblem series, it would definitely be one of those two.
Oh, Fire Emblem, yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I said Marth. I mean, when they put Link in Soul Calibur 2, he was like all I played. Apparently he was low tier or something. I don't know, but he felt awesome to play. And he had all of his, like his bomb, his boomerang, his bow and arrow, like everything integrated in really well with Soul Calibur.
Yeah, it was.
I hope they bring it back.
It was the coolest edition. I had the PlayStation 2 version. So.
Oh right, so you got
the Tekken guy.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to be insulting all the Tekken fans, but I don't remember his name. The one who punches and has the hair.
Yeah, the old man, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh great, the one who was basically punching. Like it's not really a weapon, technically.
And then Xbox had Spawn, which is friggin' sick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Spawn needs a game, needs a whole re-release.
It needs a revival, like the whole IP.
Yeah, Spawn's cool.
Ricky, yes, you won. Joshua, yes, you won the code. I will be giving the code to both of you right after the podcast. Kat asks, what kind of headset do I have? I have a Razer headset.
There you go.
It's not, I don't know. I actually bought it for someone else and they didn't want it, so I ended up keeping it. But hey, it works well. I don't mind.
You want a headset recommendation?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they're expensive though, so maybe it's not the best.
Yeah, these are cheap. This Razer
Astro A40s, classic choice for Xbox gamers. I find like the pro Halo players use Astros. mainly because the one that I have comes with the mix amp. And then the mix amp lets you balance all your audio. So you could have like your game audio, your music playing, your chat volume, like everything's kind of all balanced in your ears.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool. How much is that?
Expensive.
What price range are we talking about?
Canadian, I spent over $300.
Okay, yeah. High quality headset. That's kind of what I would expect.
Comes with the mix amp, makes it more expensive.
Yes, Arfin. Sure. Heihachi Mishima. That's the name we were looking for. Devluke asking, yeah, got your question. So next questions or topics from Joshua. How likely do you think Nintendo and Microsoft will cooperate on something? And what do you think it could be? If anything that you would see them cooperate on would probably be an N64 Mini, just because they could bring all of the retro games. Other than that, we've seen them cooperate on Minecraft. I don't really see them cooperating on anything else at this point off the top of my head.
What about Fortnite crossplay? I can see that possibly.
True.
Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation. Like, as I know in the past, I believe Xbox has been open to crossplay with PlayStation for games like Rocket League, Fortnite. I think it was on PlayStation's end where it was denied. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yep, so you're right there. You can play Rocket League on. Rocket League has crossplay with
right.
Microsoft Switch, that whole ecosystem, and PCs, and PlayStation people are off in their own little land.
Okay, right. So keeping consistent with that, we might see it with Fortnite if Fortnite lands on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Is there any other good cross-play games that could be out there? I guess
I don't know. It's interesting because Nintendo's in their own like ecosystem. Majority of their titles are just exclusive to Nintendo. They don't have too many third parties.
Right. Well, we could see Overwatch potentially come over to the Switch. So if we see Overwatch, you could see some crossplay with Microsoft there.
Yeah. Overwatch on console in general, I don't recommend, by the way, guys.
Oh, it doesn't? It's not so good?
I mean, like, it plays, it works. It's just like, I don't know. There's not that it's necessary, but you can't fit every single item, like emotes and things like that. You can't fit it all onto your controller, so you have to like do these weird workarounds and stuff to use, like, and it's nobody really uses like emotes and stickers like all the time or whatever, but
right,
it translates much better on the PC. It makes sense. It feels a little better on the PC, but you know, maybe just because I'm a hardcore Halo guy, I'm like not playing an Overwatch console. Who does?
Alejandro asks, what if they cooperate on Scalebound? Yeah, keep on dreaming. Keep on dreaming.
I wish, man. What the heck? I'm pissed off about that.
Me too. That was a big oops. You know, Xbox sold me. The Xbox One is the first Xbox console I ever bought, and I bought it after their press conference where they announced, they had announced Tomb Raider, Cuphead. It was a solid lineup 3 years ago or so, and it just all.
Right. I think 2016 was pretty big.
Right. That's probably the year. It's when they announced backwards compatibility.
Right, and that's actually probably one of the best features that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, recently they've just been lacking in the exclusive titles.
Yeah, and I mean, they've been making some really good progress with all of these other like customer focus services. Game Pass is amazing, and you know they're experimenting and doing tons of new things, but it's just I don't see them living off of that, right?
Yeah, there's actually a couple areas where they're the only ones who operate in this space. The controllers that were announced, the accessibility controllers.
That's right. Yeah,
those are unbelievable. Like just taking, like appealing to a market of people who normally can't play games comfortably, at least, and helping them out that's amazing. The fact that they're doing that is pretty inspiring. They are the only ones in the space doing that right now. Even bridging off of that, actually, the Elite controller, which is a very popular controller, not even just for Xbox players, but for PC players, there's leaks that there will be a new version of the Elite controller. There's actually leaked photos of the second version of the Elite controller on the internet right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announce and showcase that at the E3 briefing. And if it's as awesome as I think it's going to be, I'll be picking it up for sure day one.
So is it custom that all the Halo professional players, do they all use the Elite controller?
No, they actually use the Scuff. More likely than the Elite, but it's a combination. It's either the Elite or the Scuff. A lot of pro players are sponsored by Scuff, but I tend to opt for Scuff for Halo because Scuff feels great. The sticks feel great,
right?
Specifically, like the control sticks feel really good for shooters. The Elite is a better built controller as far as what you're getting in a package, though. You get a lot more customization. It's a lot easier to use. You get trigger stops, a lot of things that would cost exorbitant amounts on the Scuff. It costs a lot of money to get all the bells and whistles on the Scuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the Elite, I'd say, is better overall as a controller, but for Halo specifically, for whatever reason, the sticks they feel amazing, and it just works so well for Halo. So I go with Scuff for those.
What's your opinion? I have a question for you. Your opinion on the Duke re-releasing?
Yeah, it already came out, didn't it?
Yeah, but just it doesn't sound like it's a good thing. Like, I think it was massive.
If you're a hardcore Xbox original guy and you've got, those fond memories of the Duke, then when you see that, I think it's a nice treat to pick up. Like I'm not going to jump for joy when I see it's like when you buy a mini Super Nintendo or whatever. It's just a cool convenience. Apparently, on the big Xbox logo is an LCD screen now, which like lights up and and changes. Yeah, it does the Xbox startup on it when you turn it on, and they added extra bumpers. Like they added 2 buttons so that you can press bumpers, because originally the Duke has just the triggers, and then instead of bumpers you get a white and a black button in the super inconvenient place. So they have actual bumpers now, so you could use it as a totally functional Xbox One controller. I mean, if you're a fan, why not?
And speaking of the Elite controllers, I saw PlayStation came out, just announced their own Elite controller.
You mean Scuffs?
Was this? I thought it was PlayStation's official.
Really? Okay, hold on. I gotta look this up, because that's what I was gonna say. Is I think it would be nice if.
Yeah, I thought it was PlayStation.
If they went that route and made it an Elite controller of some sort, Pro controller, maybe. So recently what I saw was a Scuff controller reveal. It was a Scuff. Oh wait, what's this? Revolution Pro controller? Is that an official?
Oh, this is from 2017. Yeah, I swear I saw. PS4, yeah, here we go. 4 days ago, PS4 gets an official Elite style controller for $200.
Yeah, they're expensive controllers. Even the Elite Xbox One controller is $189 Canadian right now.
It has the Scuff Vantage.
Oh, is it the Scuff Vantage? Is that what it is?
Hang on, let me properly read this. Just introduced the first Sony licensed third-party controller for the PS4 in North America with the Scuff Advantage.
Third party.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not. Yeah, it's not first party.
So the Scuff Vantage actually looks sick, though. It's an Xbox One style PlayStation controller. Like the stick placement is Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I prefer that for shooters personally. I mean, I did play with the PS4 controller, and it's actually surprisingly comfortable in the location that it's in. Like they've really nailed it with the PS3 controller. I didn't like it. I found that even my thumbs like bumped together at times the way it was organized. Mm-hmm. But with the PlayStation 4 controller, they've done a lot right. However, I prefer the Xbox design. It looks like they've nailed it with the Scuff Vantage. The controller looks sick. I want to pick it up. The only thing that I don't like about Scuff controllers is they aren't really the greatest as far as durability goes. They don't have a good track record for durability, and you end up dishing out like minimum $200 for these controllers. So like when you're spending that kind of money, you want something that's going to last, hopefully, and I hope it does. Because my Scuffs, I have 4 Scuffs, and that's not a good thing.
Jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
I burned through them in about 3-4 months.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Can't imagine that. Well, it is the 1 hour and a half mark. I thought we were going to do this in an hour, but we got carried away. It's all good. So before we wrap up and before you head out, we are at 11 likes on the stream. So if you can hit that like button, it helps the channel and it helps me keep doing the show. And before you wrap up, Alex, is there do you want some attention on anything on a YouTube channel, Twitter account, anywhere, or a project you're working on?
I mean, yeah, if you guys want to follow me, youtube.com/Shyway and then twitter.com/Shyway, 2 locations you can see what I'm up to. Myself, I mean, we're going to be working together a lot more in the future as well, hopefully. So we'll be creating more content, more exciting things to come. So you'll see me inevitably anyway, but feel free to check out my YouTube right now. If you're not a Halo fan, you might not really enjoy the content. It's 100% Halo dedicated, but it is interesting nonetheless. Even if you're not a Halo fan, I feel like it's interesting. I do something a little different. I study the game very in depth, fast paced, basically. I will be expanding to other stuff as well. Anyway.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Alex a lot more on our new site, dailyesports.tv. And when I say our, I mean the company I work for, Enthusiast Gaming. Yes. Sometimes I forget this show is no longer on an Enthusiast property. It's on my personal one. But yes, one of my responsibilities is to grow dailyesports.tv. It's our esports site. And I'm looking after producing content there. And Alex is going to be the face on the camera. I won't be so much on the camera on that channel, but I am going to be behind the scenes making it all come together. So if you're interested about that, do head over to Daily Esports. It's going to be on YouTube. We're going to be probably launching late this week or next week. So that's what I'm working on there. And it's going to probably be a little bit quiet, a little bit longer on the Hey Jay channel. I'm just working on so many creative projects for the company right now that all my creative juices are all used up when it comes to my own personal stuff. But either way, I'm going to see you guys next week. Sean's going to be back on Sunday, so we're going to continue with our regularly programmed stuff. I do have a really exciting guest coming on the show eventually. We haven't quite figured out what day to do it on, but we're going to be bringing on a studio that's actually responsible for doing the Titanfall intro cinematic, and they're going to be bringing on a whole breakdown of how they did it, how they shot it. It's super interesting, and they got all the footage, so we're going to have a good time with those guys. They're a fun bunch. So I'll see you guys next week. Until then, keep it classy, or as our guest would say, I guess, would you say keep it classy or keep it crassy?
Keep it. Well, I'm more of a classy guy. I think your co-host is the classy guy, though, right? He's the
usually, yeah.
Fair enough. Keep it classy, keep it crassy, whatever works for you guys. By the way, Ali, I love the GameCube controller as well. It's one of my OG favorite controllers. Even though I've completely destroyed my hands and my tendons as a result of playing the hell out of that, but I love the GameCube controller. And, yeah.
Awesome. So it's going to be a classy week for everyone. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Have a good night.